Hello and a warm welcome to the show. I'm Salia Strzemska, and today we're going to talk about one of the most important historical phenomena here in Poland, namely the Solidarity movement. With this program, we are marking the anniversary of the country's first, partially free elections by going back to where it all began: the shipyards, the strikes, and a symbol that united a movement. Our reporter Maciej Jastrzębski has more.
It began with a word, hastily scrawled, born of urgency, and destined to become an icon of change. It was the memorable August of 1980. Gdańsk shipyard workers demanding their rights, and one graphic artist, Jerzy Janiszewski, inspired by the historical site, creating the Solidarność logotype, a design that would come to symbolize not just the workers' movement, but a national awakening.
People were writing the word solidarity on the walls. Jerzy Janiszewski was observing this. He watched the people standing between the gate and the shipyard. He observed the emotions that were unfolding, what was being written on the walls. And one night, he wrote that word almost casually in a graffiti-like style.
Worn on t-shirts, popping up on posters, circulated on leaflets, sported proudly as lapel badges, the logo soon spread beyond Poland as an echo of the impossible, a voice of discontent with a communist regime.
Certainly this typeface, it was worn on these very small lapel badges, and where I was in the UK, very popular amongst students and amongst trade unionists, amongst political activists.
The Solidarity logo was a bellwether of a new visual language, bold, resolute, often handmade. Spoken by artists like Andrzej Pongowski, Rafał Olbiński, and Wiesław Rosocha, it turned protest into poster art, as well as mastery of intercultural reference, at which Tomasz Sarnecki excelled with this iconic depiction.
So we see Gary Cooper meeting his fate in the classic film High Noon, only he's wearing the iconic Solidarity badge, lapel badge, and he's carrying a voting card. So it's designed to encourage Poles to vote in the elections of the 4th of June 1989, which were historic elections, partially free elections, and Poland was just emerging out of communism.
And from another voice, Lithuanian artist Stasys Eidrigevičius came haunting, poetic posters that bound the spirit of unity with the subtlety of visual metaphor. What followed August 1980 could be best summed up as, from typeface to an internationally recognized archetype. As such, the Solidarity logo would be modified and passed on to serve like-minded causes in other corners of the earth.
Today, Jerzy Janiszewski is transforming the logo, and one of the more interesting transformations is the word Ukraine written in Ukrainian, rendered in yellow on a blue background.
From Gdańsk to Kiev, from 1980 to now, the Solidarity design lives on as it emboldens people worldwide to remake the world into a better, more just place.
While filmmaking in what was then the Eastern Bloc may seem like a drab exercise in propaganda, the communist period produced some outstanding movies. Many of them captured the struggles and aspirations of a society yearning for change.
Solidarity, the movement that hamstrung the clay feet of the colossus of communism and left a legacy of cinema masterpieces. As workers were on strike in Gdańsk's shipyards, demanding the reinstatement of Anna Walentynowicz and Lech Wałęsa, and that their rights be respected, Polish filmmakers were calling out the communist Poland's socio-political system.
Andrzej Wajda,
the most prominent filmmaker in the movement, known as the cinema of moral anxiety, was Andrzej Wajda, the world-famous art house director. His 1977 movie, Man of Marble, made it clear that even the heroes of socialism were disposable, planting the seeds for what would soon become the Solidarity movement.
Andrzej Wajda was on the front line of this movement. When we have strikes in the August 1980, the filmmakers were allowed to film the workers television wasn't.
Interestingly enough, the ex-film studio headed by Wajda was a state institution. Its semi-overt involvement in the cause of solidarity marked a significant shift in the balance of soft power. The origins of Man of Iron, the seminal cinematic depiction of the solidarity movement that emphasized the workers' agency, were shrouded in mystery.
Maybe it's a legend, maybe it's a truth, that Andrzej Wajda was asked by the workers to make Man of Iron during the strikes of August 1908.
The story of a journalist sent by the communist regime to infiltrate and compromise the workers, but ends up joining their ranks. Wajda's movie is more than just a tale of redemption.
Man of Iron is about them who are working with iron, who are working to make a Polish society better, and obviously tells the story of the strikes and how the television, the radio is trying to present the strikers.
While Wajda's movie edified workers' cause and rights, Ryszard Bugajski's interrogation sought to remind Polish viewers in the 80s of the crimes the Polish communist regime needed to be held accountable for. Those included imprisoning thousands of innocent civilians and subjecting them to humiliating physical and mental tortures. In the movie, a story of one such person, a woman, is told by legendary actress Krystyna Janda. The brutal honesty of the picture was something that the communist censorship would not tolerate.
It was very clear for everyone involved that this film will never be released in cinemas, not just because of the martial law being running, but also because of the content of the film.
Soon after, Bugajski had to flee and immigrated to Canada. His film, however, remained and was bootlegged on VHS tapes around Poland. Even Blind Chance by Krzysztof Kieślowski, with its 3 alternate paths for one young man's life, hinted at the randomness of oppression and the narrow margins of choice under authoritarianism. These banned movies were dubbed Pułkowniki, a play on the words pułkownik or colonel, and półka, meaning a shelf, alluding at how they were shelved for better days to come. And those days ultimately came with the solidarity-driven transformation of 1989. As if to mark the fall of communism and welcome the triumph of solidarity with a fanfare, Wajda's Man of Iron was awarded the Palme d'Or in Cannes. A year later, the main act in Bugajski's interrogation won the same award for Best Actress. The truth, no longer doomed to languish on shelves, had prevailed.
Now let's turn to fashion, as we know that the right attire can truly make a statement. In the Polish People's Republic, that is Poland prior to the transformation of 1989, citizens embraced their own agency, transforming fabrics and customizing uniforms to change the system. In this era, style was not about clothing, it became a powerful form of expression.
Under the shadow of authoritarianism, creativity often takes unexpected forms. In the Polish People's Republic of the 1980s, fashion became more than personal expression. It became protest. Unlike the burst of colors the 80s brought in the US, scarcity and shades of grey defined the era in Poland. Lech Wałęsa, leader of the Solidarity movement, was the champion of the working class. With his crisp shirts, worn jacket, and Virgin Mary pin, the man reflected the pride and dignity of labor. Carrying his pen in his pocket as a symbol of negotiation over violence. Jacek Kuroń, always in his signature denim jacket. In a country of scarcity, denim meant defiance. A symbol smuggled from the West, denim became a coded signifier of democratic ideals, individual agency, and solidarity with workers. Anna Walentynowicz, referred to as the mother of solidarity, had her emblematic Sunday dress. For many Polish women, the Sunday dress was the finest piece of clothing they owned. Often saved for church, this alone defied state ideology. The PRL regime was officially a communist, officially atheist state.
The way that she expressed herself was very ladylike, but appropriate to the shortages that were plaguing Poland.
And then there was Gaja, Jacek Kuroń's muse. Her hippie spirit and style infused the movement with color and femininity. In cities like Gdańsk, punk culture gave youth another outlet for this scent. Before your eyes, you may see a leather jacket adorned with rebellious pins that belonged to a young shipyard worker who was killed by the authorities.
Przywrócić wartość wielu słowom, by już nie były pustymi słowami.
What emerged wasn't planned style, but symbolic identity.
Solidarnością między nami.
I think that what stands out still today and is iconic are corduroy pants and checkered shirts and sweaters that are in this dark or grayish color, like being, I would say, not consciously, but very iconically unfashionable.
The era shows us how clothes spoke when voices were censored. In a world of limits, fashion gave people freedom.
Now let's join our reporter, Karolina Szapland, for a tour of the European Solidarity Center. Located in Gdańsk, it is a museum and a library. It not only celebrates the rich history of solidarity, but also highlights other opposition movements.
It was a vote that changed the nation and subsequently the shape of a whole continent. On June the 4th, 1989, Polish citizens had a chance to take part in the first partially free election, first since World War II. We had a chance to hear what this day meant for visitors to the European Solidarity Center.
It's really emotional. I haven't been here before. It's incredibly impactful to see the images of all these people that I grew up hearing about and understanding a little bit more about my parents. My father founded an organization in Boston which helped political refugees from the Solidarity movement find employment and housing in Boston. It's incredibly impactful to see the reason they were forced out and their bravery and courage.
It's amazing to see how hard the Polish people fought to gain their freedom.
I can remember the falling of the communism in this country, so I was just curious to learn more about it.
The outcome of this vote was as remarkable as the process itself. Solidarity-based candidates took nearly all of the places allocated to them, sending a very clear signal to the communist government that it had no legitimacy from the Polish people. And within months, Poland had its first free, non-communist prime minister, and by the end of the year, communist regimes were falling across the whole Eastern Bloc. And it all started with a vote. For TVP World, I'm Karolina Szapland.
And now it's time for our Culture Beats, and we start off with a burst of color and music as the annual Orange Festival arrived in Warsaw. Celebrating its 10th anniversary this year, the festival was an unforgettable experience filled with captivating music. This year's event set the stage for summer in Poland, kicking off the festival season with another iconic celebration, the Open Festival in Gdynia, happening in July. We are thrilled to announce that the documentary series Dancing with the Russian Bear, commissioned by TVP World, has triumphed at the World Media Festival in Berlin.
My worst fears come true.
Join us in celebrating this remarkable achievement and the powerful narratives that Dancing with the Russian Bear brings to audiences around the globe. You can catch the full series on vod.tvp.com or on bbc.com.
In the Baltics, in Poland, everybody had some sort of experience with the Russians, and it's very, very rarely good.
We suffered so much that we do not believe.
Dua Lipa has just performed in Prague, where she gave her fans a surprise by singing a hit song, Na ostry noże, by Polish-Czech pop star Ewa Farna. But that's not all. Ewa herself joined Dua on stage. Take a look. And with this magical moment, we conclude this episode of Pulse of Culture. Thank you for watching, and please stay tuned for more.